everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of FM21 Beta Battle with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So today we've got Tottenham in the league, and they are now managed by Marcelo Bielsa, who of course I took over from at Leeds United. So it's going to be an interesting clash with him, and he's been talking up in the press. So we've got to get a good performance today. They've been struggling a little bit. Can we pile the misery onto them? We'll have to wait and see. Welcome back to Leeds United. So we are doing pretty well still. We're sitting in 6th position after 26 games. The last couple of results have been good. We'll get to them a little bit more in a second. But today we do have Tottenham, and they've been struggling. That if we go to the league table and just check it out, they're sitting in 12th at the moment. Mourinho got the sack a couple of weeks ago because they were in this sort of bottom third of the Premier League. And since then, they've had a little bit of an upturn. If we follow their results all the way through, you can see the last couple of games that they've played, they've had 2 wins against West Ham and Newcastle. So Bielsa has obviously come into the club and is doing great in terms of revitalising them, which comes at a bad point for us because we get them today. But we're in decent enough form ourselves. The last couple of games have been good. And we do sit in 6th, and today we're away from home, which doesn't help, does it really? Which is unfortunate, but we kind of need to keep piling on the points as much as is possible at this point in the season, just to keep us in this top 6. The one thing I would say is that we've done amazingly well to get to 6th, considering the 3 teams below us have all got positive goal difference, and we're currently sitting on positive of 1 in our goal difference. So we're not conceding many, but we're not scoring too many either. If we look in the team stats, we've conceded 36, which is the 8th worst, and we've scored 37, which is the 8th best. And it finds us in 6th position. So, yeah, make of that what you will. But we could do with both of these improving slightly over the second half of the season. We had to rotate the side a little bit against Southampton. We came away with a 1-0 loss there, unfortunately. And they were a direct rival to us. They were like a position or 2 below us in the league. So that closed that gap up. But then we came back. And we beat Villa 1-0, another goal from Bacca, which is great. And then we finally looked back to a bit of our old selves in terms of how good we can be against Crystal Palace, where we won 3-1 and looked pretty good doing it after the 85th minute. Again, you see, it's this type of game. We scored 3 goals in the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the match. Once that penalty had gone in, we looked pretty decent afterwards. Up to that point, we were doing well. I thought we were playing quite well in a lot of ways. We just couldn't break them down. And then the floodgates opened and we won 3-1. It has been absolutely mental. And today, we get away from home. We go to Tottenham's new stadium and we play Marcelo Bielsa's Tottenham. And that adds a whole nother level of spice to it. So we've got 1 or 2 injuries that are a problem. We've got Forshaw that's out for a couple of days. We've got Wilshere who's almost back from his 2-month layoff. But unfortunately, we've now got Harrison out for the next couple of weeks as well. He's already been out for a week, I think. So that's unfortunate because he was doing a pretty decent job in rotating with Hernandez in the left wing position. So that's a bit of a loss for today in terms of the balance of our squad overall. But nonetheless, what we have got back is Rodrigo from his suspension from that double-footed challenge that we talked about in the Burnley match. So he's back in the reckoning today, which means that we can go back to our 4-3-3 formation, which has been working so well for us. So hopefully that will bode well against Tottenham away from home today. So that all means that we've got Meslier in goal, we've got Ayling at right back, Dallas at left back, Llorente and Koch in central defence, Click, Phillips and Rodrigo in central midfield, Costa on the right, Hernandez on the left and Bacca up top, with a bench of Cooper, Janmat, Davis, Shackleton, Rafina, Alioski and Bamford. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So after the late comeback win against Palace in the last game, we've gone with want you to pick up from where you left last time. See if we can literally do that. The last 5 minutes of the last game, let's bring it into this one. It's going to be a tricky game though. As I say, Bielsa has been bigging it up in the press a little bit and suggesting that we are way out of our league and depth, being at the top of the table in 6th position. So hopefully we can prove him wrong and at least be difficult to beat, if nothing more than that. But I really hope that a struggling Tottenham side we can pile on a little bit more misery for. What happened there? That would be a corner kick to Tottenham. So it rebounded off one of the defenders, went out. So obviously Tottenham have got some exceptionally good attacking players more than anything. So they're going to be difficult. But on the counter-attack like this, maybe we can do something. And it's Costa down the right-hand side. Plenty of space to him to open up the legs and run into the box. And was he brought outside the box or inside? I think it was inside. And what happens to Davis here? He gets a yellow card. Bit lucky maybe, but he does get a yellow card. It looks like it's a free kick right on the edge of the box, right on that top corner. Hernandez with it, and the cross comes into the 6-yard box, but it's partially cleared. And then Dele Alli picks up the ball and gets a load of space to run into, and we had to bring him down. Dallas brought him down just to slow up the attack. And the long free kick comes in from Tottenham, but Meslier clutches the ball very nicely and holds on to it, which is really important. And potentially we get the chance to settle the play down a little bit, but he has to go long because of the Tottenham press. We win that ball though. Backer with the ball in the deep line forward position, should I say, holds the ball very nicely, and then it's a little bit wayward, and again we lose out, and again Dele Alli is the one with the ball into the box, gets to the byline, and a good challenge from Llorente. Had to get it right. I mean, again, get it partially cleared, but the Tottenham get it back again and come back at us, and then they hit the woodwork, did they? I think they did. They hit the crossbar. And it's all been a little bit pressurised for us so far. We've not been able to get the ball and hold on to it enough. Wayward passing has meant that Tottenham have regained possession too easy at this precise moment. And looking at 25 minutes gone, we're still at 0-0, but I think we're finally beginning to come back into the game a little bit. Our percentage of possession has raised a little bit. We've had a couple more chances. So hopefully we can settle the game down a little bit, and it looks that's the way it's going to be through till half time, which isn't a terrible thing. Although saying that, we've got one last highlight before half time, and it's for us currently down the left hand side, but then a really stupid ball. That was a really, really bad ball by Hernandez. There was nobody there other than a Tottenham defender, and he basically just passed it to him on the counter-attack. Sissoko gets a chance. Great last-ditch attempt at a challenge there from the central defence, and we come away with it again, and then the final whistle of the first half goes. Really terrible ball by Hernandez though, wasn't it? Let's go and look at the stats at half-time. You can see that Tottenham have had 9 shots at goal, 6 on target, 5 and 2 for us. We've had 50% possession. Our pass completion, not good enough today. So we're going to go in, before we give the team talk, we're going to go into the in possession, and we're going to shrink down the directness, the directness of the passing and the tempo as well. We're going to set it right down and see if we can hold on to the ball a little bit better in that second half. We're not doing badly away from home at Tottenham. So hands on hips, we're going to say you've been unlucky so far and send them straight back out. And just see if that slight change in the style of play can help us. A good opportunity for a corner for Spurs, though, early on in the second half, and the header goes over the top of the bar. So there's another sighter for them. But we get our own corner this time. Hernandez with it. Doesn't even beat the first man. His passing has been dreadful today so far, it seems. But Costa has picked up the loose ball right the way back in our defensive area. And we've got to reshape ourselves and then settle the play down. And this is what we want to see a little bit more of. Just a little bit more competent passing. And that is what you get when you do it. We shortened the passing, we slowed it down, we worked right the way from defence all the way through the central midfield. Eventually, the through ball goes up front to Bakker from Rodrigo here, nicely threaded through the eye of the needle, and he's one-on-one with the keeper, and he makes no mistake, and that's about his 4th or 5th goal for us, I think, since he's joined. And he's doing very well. I'm really happy with him. and we take a 1-0 lead after about 50 minutes, which for the first half was a bit surprising, really. We weren't quite at the races as much as I wanted us to be, but we have to be on our mettle here. The corner comes in from Tottenham, cleared off the line by the defender. Really, really good defending there. Tottenham win the ball back again, though, and we've reset our defensive shape, and the highlight dies at that point. What a brilliant clearance that was. And we can breathe a sigh of relief after that. Llorente with a very deep free kick for us in the defensive area. Work it very nicely into midfield. Again, slow the pace down, shorten the passing, and this is how we do it. We work our way up the pitch slowly, and a bit of a mistake there gives back of the ball right at the edge of the penalty box. Holds the play really nicely, but then Alderweireld gets the foot in eventually and takes the ball away from him, and Tottenham come back at us on the counter-attack, and they've worked it from the right-hand side across to the left-hand side here, and then they go long over the top, but it's cut out by our central defenders. And again, we have the chance to take our time. We went up really early, but the backer did so well. And then Rodrigo with a follow-up, past backer on the run from the Metzala roll, gets a shot at goal, and it goes out for a corner kick. And it's Hernandez with the corner kick, putting the pressure on a little bit. Disappointing. I've had enough of Hernandez. Now 67 minutes gone. We're just going to go into the tactics and see what we can do here. Rafinha is going to come on for Hernandez, and we are going to play him out on the wide left instead. It just wasn't good enough today, Hernandez, was he? Absolutely not good enough. None of his crosses were working. None of his passing was accurate enough. And we've got a couple of others that we can make. So we're going to bring Phillips off and put Shackleton on in that central midfield role. And then we've got one more that we can make. And we're going to take out Dallas because of his yellow card and put Davis in for the last part of the game. Go back in, and then we're just going to go into the shouts and focus their attention a little bit. We got a throw in down the left hand side, which we sort of half lost the ball but then regained it quite quickly, and it's gone right the way back to Meslier in goal. If we can draw Tottenham onto us a little bit and find a little bit of space behind them, that would be good. We have done that. A couple of the players now are ahead of the ball, so we've done the first part of the job. Can we get it through the lines up into the striking position? We can with Costa on the run, and it was a good tackle, and then a follow-up shot was straight at the goalkeeper, and he parries it over, I think. But what a great counter-attack that was. Really fantastic. There have been glimpses of how we can really play in this style of play, in this structure, and then occasional absolute lapses in concentration, and that is the inconsistency of Leeds United. But we get another throw in. Tottenham partially clear it, but Davis wins the ball in that left fullback position. Shackleton on it now. Rafinha takes over on the left-hand side, and we're playing nicely again. We've kept the ball nicely. There's the little poke through and a good shot, but the goalkeeper goes down and collects it to his right-hand side with no problem. I think this is the way to go. I think we're going to have to shorten the passes full time, really, because since we did that on this particular game, that is unlucky. That is a sucker punch. They came at us. Mora had one good attempt at goal. Meslier keeps it out, claws it out from the net and prevents the goal, but it just left Mura stood there in the middle of the 6-yard box with nobody really next to him that was doing enough to stop him, and he reacts first and pokes the ball home for a 1-1. 85 minutes gone, 5 minutes left. I think we're just going to up the intensity to attacking just for the last few minutes, see if we can get one last chance. And it's Davis down the left-hand side, holds the ball up nicely. Rodrigo on the edge of the area, back to Davis. The cross comes into the top of the penalty box with click, and he puts it high and wide slightly down that left-hand side of the goal. And that was pretty much our chance, I think. Although Tottenham have got a very deep throw in, they've managed to clear it. Can we win the ball? We do win the ball. Ayling in the right fullback position gets the loose ball, puts it into Rafinha in central midfield, who's come slightly narrow to get involved in the play. Really does well to ride a challenge there and gets on his... He had one decent chance there. He got on his speedboat, a bike of some sort, whatever, made his way all the way to the penalty box, and then couldn't quite put the ball in the back of the net. and we end the game 1-1, and I don't know whether I'm disappointed or not with that. I don't think I am necessarily, in the sense that the first half was really kind of disappointing and we weren't quite at the races. Second half, I thought we came into the game really well. So let's analyse the performance and see what won it for us, or not what won it, what gave us a point today. So both ourselves and Tottenham got an XG of over 1.57 for them, 1.48 for us, which suggested a 1-1 draw was pretty much what the chances created should have fulfilled, and it did. That's what we ended up with. A whole bagload of chances, though. We did really well to get the chances in the second half specifically. 11 attempts at goal, 9 with the feet, and 1 goal from it. And you can see that there's a good spray of chances round the penalty box, couple from on top as well. But there are a couple here. I mean, this one, for example, that gets blocked. It's unfortunate, isn't it? The shot was blocked from the penalty spot. You'd kind of hope that they'd get it on target and have a decent attempt at that point, really. But not quite to be today, but not too bad. Lots of Tottenham's attempts came from that slight left-hand side of the penalty box in our sort of between our right full-back and our right centre-back. So there's something to work on a little bit. But when it comes to the heat map, the average positions, you can see that Tottenham were quite compact from their striking position through to their defence. And although we were a little bit, we were kind of similar, there is a bit more of a gap, especially in this number 10 role where we don't have enough support play, I guess, at times. And maybe we need to try and find a way to change that. I think if long term I was in the club, I'd try and find a way to play a formation with that number 10 role. But I don't think we got enough time to figure it out for the second half of the season, particularly. We sit quite narrow because number 3, should I say, is Dallas, and he often comes into the central midfield position, so that prevents a little bit of width from the fullback position on the left-hand side. But I think it's a reasonable shape to have. We just need to get a couple more attempts at goal, maybe, for Bakker at the top of the pitch. You can see that we worked primarily on the wings, which we've been doing a lot in the last couple of games, playing the 4-4-2. So maybe there's a hangover from that particularly. And we were looking for wide play specifically, which maybe wasn't the best way. I think there's a gap in the central midfield for Tottenham that we could have potentially exploited if we were thinking about that. But that second half performance was much, much better, wasn't it? In the end, it was Robin Koch who got the best average rating for us, 7.5. And unfortunately, Helder Costa had a bad day, didn't he? 6.4. And then if we look also, you can see that Bakker got a 7.1 and Rodrigo in the centre of midfield got over a 7, and so did Messier. So right the way through the spine of the side, there was some good performances. Just let down here and there a little bit, I would suggest, by the wide areas today in terms of getting that shot away or the pass into Bakker for a decent attempt. But overall, we went to Tottenham Stadium and we got a 1-1 draw with a new manager in charge for them that had reinvigorated them. So I don't think it was actually too bad a result. Here we are back on the schedule page. We've got Chelsea coming up in the next episode, just to see if we can keep taking a few points here and there off some of the big boys in the division. It's still a tricky run in, isn't it? Lots of the big guys still to come. Chelsea next episode. Between then and now, we've got Wolves and West Ham. So a couple of really interesting mid sort of table sides to see if we can get some more points off of and cement our place. Currently, we are still sitting in 6th in the league, and you can see that the teams directly below us can't automatically overtake us at any point unless we drop some more points. So if we could get back to winning ways for the next couple of games, that would be really helpful, just to cement that place in the division as we move into the real latter part of the season. But Chelsea coming up, if we look at them, they're sitting in 9th. They're not having the best season themselves, already sitting in 9th. They've got a couple of games in hand, though, so it's a slightly false position, maybe. They could up their game a little bit, but still not as good as they should be. And what was the other two sides? West Ham in 14th and Wolves in 11th. Those are the next games coming up. So I'd like to at least pick up 4 points, if not 6, from those 2 games leading into the Chelsea game and see if we can get a bit of momentum behind us going into that and take some points off another big side and see if we can really cement ourselves at the top of the table in the top 6, which is far beyond my expectation at the beginning of this season, to be honest. But now that it's there, we've got to really fight to stay there, haven't we? But that's going to do it for today, pretty much. It was kind of was it a disappointing result? Yeah, it was a little bit. I was unhappy that we lost a late goal, really, to draw us back in, having gone 1 up. We couldn't quite hold on to the game, but in the end, still a decent enough away point. So come back next episode for the Chelsea match. We'll catch up on what happened between us and Wolves and West Ham, see if we can get more points from them. Until then, though, thank you for joining me today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button for me. Helps me get seen by loads of other people. Go and look in the links below, in the description below, and check out all of the different aspects of my content that you can go and interact with, Twitter and Patreon and Discord and all and the like. So go and do that for me. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.